And welcome back, everyone, to part 3 of What If Naruto Ate a Devil Fruit, the Kage Kage no Mi edition. Last time on the Naruto What If, we had a relatively similar Land of Waves arc, with Naruto's Kage Kage no Mi really coming in clutch with the Zabuza fight a little bit. Now, that being said, we left off with Naruto showing up to help Team 7 against the fight with Haku and Zabuza. And so Naruto shows up. Naruto Uzumaki is here! We should note right now, and I think I've noted it before, but Naruto is still very much Naruto. Yeah, he's got a really cool ability, but that, just because you have a new ability, doesn't really make you any less you, unless you have some other influences. What I mean by that is Naruto's personality is still very much Naruto. Unlike in the last one with Benihime, where he actually did have an extra person to help teach him, who was very mature, intelligent, and could actually help him grow as a person. Hold on, I'm just going to fix my camera just a little bit here. Come on, wipe it off a little bit, and then... Okay, we good now? Oh, yeah, a lot clearer now. And so we had Benihime to teach Naruto to actually help mature him up a bit. Here, Naruto just got a new power. Maybe he's got a little bit of memory from the experiences of other users using that, but all he has is a new power right now. So he does not really have the strategic mind he could have based on some other what-ifs we could do. And so Naruto is there, and Haku and Naruto square off. It's like, you were lying the whole time? I'm sorry. Sorry. And they're about to square off. Naruto's shower starts to rise. Haku gets ready with his ice. Then Sasuke has to remind him of his presence, throws the kunai. I haven't forgotten about you, not for a second. I'm sorry, Naruto. We'll have our fight, but I have to finish this up first. And so he starts wailing on Sasuke again. Naruto does ultimately sneak in. Hey, Sasuke, I'm here to rescue you. Like, what, Naruto? It's like, what are you doing here? You could have been so much more helpful. Forget it. I see. So this is the way it's going to go, isn't it, Naruto? And he attacks them both with kunai. And Naruto tries the shadow clone. Doesn't really work. Now you might be saying, well, this just sounds like the original. What's changing here? Why isn't Naruto using the Kage Kage no Mi at all? Well, who said he wasn't? Because Haku makes a note of something. It's like, wait a minute. And because he had seen Naruto's shadow abilities prior to this, so he knows one of Naruto's main abilities is the manipulation of his shadow. Naruto, by the by, is not able to catch Haku's shadow because he's not able to catch Haku off guard. Haku is way too fast for him to catch. Even if he uses, theoretically, like the instantaneous movement, that's only for like point A to point B. Haku can literally move from here, there. He literally has, they even, I think, describe it as kind of sub-light speed or around light speed-esque abilities, because it's kind of like teleporting from his mirrors. I can't remember exactly how fast they really say Haku is, but he is way beyond Naruto's speed, even with the switching of places. But Haku quickly notices something as he goes in for another attack, as Naruto just kind of grins, makes some shadow clones, who also don't have a shadow right now, because they're... What's the best way to put it? He notices Naruto's shadow is missing. That's what he notices. It's a fun kind of concept, because I've heard a lot of people kind of, ever since I asked the question about chakra and its connection to your soul, kind of connect the shadow and the soul and the chakra together. But if Naruto creates shadow clones without his shadow, would the shadow clones not have their shadow because of the whole soul connection? I don't know, because there's made by his chakra, which is still connected to his spirit and all that. You know what? I might make the argument they don't have their shadow. The only way the shadow clones have their shadow is if he has his shadow when he makes the clones. I think that would be a nice little limitation he has there. So yeah, Haku was out of the mirror at the moment, realizes, like, wait, where's his shadow? And all of a sudden, because Naruto has consumed several of his shadow clone's shadows before, his much larger, stronger shadow suddenly appears. Now, to recap, we discussed the idea of Naruto being able to consume the shadows of his shadow clones. And the fact that while he's splitting his soul up, technically speaking, and therefore splitting his shadows up, it shouldn't really strengthen his shadow very much, because all he's doing is dividing his main soul into smaller pieces and then just returning it back. But I believe, at least in concept here, what Naruto's shadow can do is still absorb like the mass of the shadow to increase the size overall of the shadow. It's not increasing his chakra. It's not increasing his reserves. It's not increasing his control. It's not increasing theoretically the strength based on the soul that he's eating along with there. But the sheer like physical mass of the shadow is going in there. Now, I think we did agree, at least I agreed, that the weakness for this would be that Naruto can't do this in mass because it's still fatiguing him a lot. I don't think it would ever kill him, but it could theoretically knock him on his ass. But what he does do is he probably does it in small spurts, like a couple clones at a time. And what he's probably been doing, despite not being overly strategic right now, having his ability has made him a bit more strategic, certainly. He's probably every so often just been making a couple clones, eating the shadow, adding it to his shadow. And so while it's not the true effect of the Kage Kage no Mi, it is still giving an effect. So the boosted shadow, which Naruto through chakra control exercises probably can at least contain the shadow, that's not the right term, control the size of the shadow, because we do know that his shadow will grow in mass and become a bit more bulky and heftier if it consumes too much. But seeing as we are connecting this, at least on some level, to chakra, with certain levels of chakra control, he might be able to actually contain it in mass, and therefore, because he's giving it a physical form, it's condensing the shadow in a much stronger form. And so, all of a sudden, Haku sees like the shadow just encase. It's like Naruto's shadow is very large and actually able to encase the entire dome of ice mirrors, and even start to envelop the mirrors themselves. And Haku's actually getting trapped in the mirrors if he's not careful. So Haku actually has to get out of the mirrors. And I was stuck inside this almost inky black dome. Now, there's no light in there, so now Haku's kind of fighting in the dark. But this is really all that Naruto really needed, as Naruto says, Sasuke, fire style, fireball jutsu! And because he's lighting it up, he's creating shadows. Naruto is going immediately for Haku's shadow, but again, Haku was watching the fight. He knows that if Naruto tags his shadow with a kunai, it could be the end for him because it ended Zabuza's clone. He doesn't want to find out what happens if his shadow gets taken. And so Haku quickly just rushes and Naruto's and just gets cracked in the face. Ultimately, though, the fireball does hit the shadow, as it makes an opening. So, because I imagine fire and lightning would be like the two big weaknesses for the shadow, like in terms of non-physical damage. Yoko Poopy, Poopy's so happy. She's all flopped at the moment. Yoko baby, Yoko baby. So the fire, it lets the whole a hole open up so the fire can like escape and hit the ice itself. The Naruto shadow, though, does come and try to wrap around Haku, just envelop Haku, but Haku just creates a massive wave of ice, which does unfortunately stop the shadow in its immediate place. It doesn't freeze the shadow, but because the shadow has a physical form now, this becomes a problem for the shadow. It can, while it can't be hurt by like any conventional means like punches, knives, or anything like that, elemental attacks, as I've discussed, should theoretically still have some sort of effect. Wind could theoretically blow it away because it has no real physical mass. Water, in theory, could almost break it up if it's not careful. And lightning and fire, specifically, because they are also creating light and generating energy, would actually, I think, be a very serious problem for the shadow. Ice would not be a kill shot for the shadow, if you could kill a shadow. But it's because it still has a physical form, it does kind of freeze the shadow in place a little bit. And Naruto's like, crap. And it's like, forgive me, Naruto. Forgive me, Naruto. No, not forgive me, but I must end this, Naruto. But I want you to know I have nothing but respect for you. That's why you have to die first. And Haku just immediately goes for him and Sasuke. And Naruto's like, and Sasuke can't dodge out of the way in time. Naruto, in the last disaster, gets in the way of Sasuke, a reverse of what Sasuke does. And Sasuke, you idiot! It's like, ugh. And then, forgive it. All of a sudden, the shadow suddenly appears, condensed down, still technically frozen, but like the ice shatters and it's kind of like wavy. And then Sebumon just kind of bounced off. It's like, what? Naruto suddenly reappears, just and just about to hit Haku before about to grab Naruto's fist. Naruto has to time it. Shadow reappears again. What? And then it's like, what? And then they grabs the shadow, which then envelops Haku. What is? How is he? And then he vaguely remembers because Naruto only used the technique within Haku's eyesight once, where he was swapping places with his shadow. And so the shadow stopped again. This time the shadow's broken out of the ice, thawed out, and just kind of binds Haku. And Naruto's kind of like collapses. A lot of clones. While the shadow manipulation is not specifically tied to his chakra, I imagine because again we're doing Naruto, it would have some connection, and therefore it is still taxing in some level to be doing this. And Naruto is still relatively inexperienced with this fruit. More practice, more time, he could be spamming this again. I compare it to kind of a Minato situation, where in theory, if he's got enough clones in one area in the air, he could just swap with all of his shadows at once and just be a menace. Naruto's shadow reconnects with him, and he's just, and he pulls out a kunai, and Sasuke is looking at Naruto. And to be fair, Sasuke is like, what the hell? Naruto, how strong is he? Like, he's been being pushed harder and harder thanks to Naruto, but he's still not at that level yet. And he's just, damn it! And he's still, how did that dream get so far ahead of me? But, and his anger and his rage, he is seeing the yin, I think it's yin chakra that's going through it. All of a sudden he's seeing chakras, like what's going on. And the stress of the situation, the intensity, and keeping up with Haku's movements has awoken his Sharingan. So Haku is stands, Zabuza, I'm sorry, but I am no match for this boy. Forgive me. And big change here, Haku's mask isn't off. Naruto doesn't know who this guy is. He just knows him as the enemy. So Naruto's like, don't worry. I don't intend to kill you. But I can't, and I'm not going to kill you unless I have to. And luckily the mist is up, so he knows he can do this. But I can't have you stopping us. Meanwhile, Kakashi and Zabuza are having their fight, and he cuts Haku's shadow and just takes it for the time being. And Haku goes limp temporarily. The coma you are in when you get your shadow taken, I think is described as like a 1 to 2 day coma. So Haku will not be a threat for any time being, for a time being. Sasuke answers, did you just? No, he's not dead. I took his shadow, which right now is gonna keep him out of commission for a little while. If I give it, he'll wake up. He'll be fine if I give it back. But I don't want to have to kill him if we don't have to. And Sasuke actually looks as he's an enemy Naruto. He would have killed me. Would have killed you. He's gonna kill Sakura? You gotta just let him go like that? And Naruto is actually like, look. It's like, I get it, okay? I get it. I've never had to kill anyone, though. Have you? And Naruto does look at him like, have you ever had to kill anyone? Honestly, have you ever tried to had to kill anyone? Have you ever killed anyone? This is Naruto, I think, it's a little out of character for him at this point, but also Naruto was willing to kill Kakashi, but also willing to kill Haku. To be fair, we never see it in the academy. And to be fair, also, we see it clear with Sakura where she is not used to it. We don't know how prepared they are to kill once they become Genin. It's a really good question. We know with the Mist, those assholes were trained to kill. Probably the Stone too. I don't know about the Sand. I could believe it with the Cloud, but the Cloud is arguably the second strongest village. So there's an argument on both sides that maybe they just were similar to the Leaf in their curriculum. But we know for a fact, like, once you're getting in the Mist, you're trained to kill because you had to kill your classmate for a while. Stone was also pretty hardcore, so they might have been trained that way too. The Leaf, though, their their educational curriculum is a little softer when it comes to that, at least from what we've seen. So yeah, Sasuke kind of does have to back off a little bit. Like, Naruto's never had to kill, like, he had to work up the resolve to kill Haku. Yes, he was going to kill him when he had the Nine Tails coursing through him. But let's not forget that Nine Tails also amped his emotional instability and rage up the yin. He was out for blood, absolutely. But he was also getting bolstered by a chakra that was increasing his desire to kill. So there is that fact as well. So, but Naruto's, besides, we could get some information from him and all that. And yeah, and Sasuke does point out, it's like, this is more well thought out for you, Naruto. Shut up! I can think it would be well thought out. It's like, really? You sure about that? By the way, what's going on with your eyes? My eyes? And he looks at one of the mirrors that is starting to crack. He's like, well, my eyes. It's like, he realizes, And he just realized, I finally woke it up. Meanwhile, you get to the end of the Zabuza Kakashi fight. And unfortunately, that does end with Zabuza getting a lightning blade straight through the chest. Because Haku isn't there to stop him this time. It's like, you. Now, maybe you can make an argument that Zabuza is maybe able to lean just far enough that it just takes out the use of his left arm and shoulder. So, and Zabuza with his remaining arm just swings and nearly tags Kakashi, who does get like a big cut. It's like, damn, you bastard, he defeated Haku, impossible. And so Zabuza is mortally wounded. He's not dead. Like, it didn't pierce through, but his shoulder's just taken out. And so finally we get to Sasuke and Naruto showing up with the unconscious Haku. It's like, he's not dead. Give up right. And Naruto has his shadow already. It's like, you shadow thief. Give up right now. I'll take you down too. You're dying, but we could save you. It's like Naruto. It's like Naruto. I don't want to have to do what anything. Naruto basically says, I don't want to kill anyone if I don't have to, but I'll do it if I have to. You really think it's that easy, boy? You think you could just quid pro quo it? Is that it? I scratch it. Let me guess. For secrets that I had from the village that I lived in. I was like, that's not gonna happen. And so finally get the well done, Zabuza. Well, seems you've been having quite a bit of a struggle. Gato, what do you want? I'm here to just tell you that our contract is over. What? You heard me. You're too expensive. Too expensive. And remember, Naruto right now has Haku held by his shadow. He can still probably use like parts of his shadow, but right now his shadow is mostly holding on to Haku, keeping him bound. Although the Haku's unconscious, so there's no really need for him to do so. So actually, he puts Haku down. Naruto's just. Naruto's tired, but he can definitely keep going if he has to. Same with Sasuke. They didn't take anywhere near the beating they did in the original. Nor are they looking like pincushions. They got someone in there, and Sasuke is certainly taking them out. And so the large amount of bandits on the bridge there to kill him is much larger at the moment, just because Zabuza is not really willing to do anything. We have no quarrel. I guess that's true. And so Naruto isn't so harsh on Zabuza here because he didn't hear Haku's backstory. So what now? Is it you defeated Haku? He always was too soft and too kind. And so actually, I think what could happen here is Zabuza tell us not the whole story, but a little bit of the story of what happened with him and Haku. And Naruto, having a background similar to Haku, hearing some of what Haku went through, does start to get pissy with Zabuza. Like, is that just it? You find him, you use him? He had no one, and you were his everything. You became his everything. Is that right? And say, yes, he became loyal to me. The loss of his abilities, and he became loyal to me. Basically, Zabuza, again, I should always try to write some dialogue for scenes like this. Zabuza basically says, yes, you beat him, but you didn't kill him. That's right. That's right. You took him in. You didn't feel anything for him. You didn't look at him like a son. Come on. You know what Naruto, I think what Naruto could do is actually say, you know what I wouldn't have given for someone like you to have done something like that for me? The whole time. I've been alone my entire life. You don't think I would have wanted someone to look up to, like a father figure, whether you thought of it or not? You were his father figure. He trusted you and believed in you. Is that all you have? And Zabuza actually, I think, go a little like surprised here, and he looks at Naruto, and he can actually briefly sees a younger Haku, and he just turns away. He's like, you're just not gonna even look at me? You're not gonna look at me? Hey, look, he failed, but he did everything, and he'll still do everything for you. This doesn't have to end badly. You can go on. You both can live through this. And Kakashi is just like, Naruto, like, that's not quite how we can. Technically, we can maybe make it work, but you can't just make promises like that in his head. And Zabuza's just looking on. He's mortally wounded. He's bleeding out. Like he is like his left arm's dead. Actually, his other arm's still fine, but his left arm's dead. Pretty much, and he's like just bleeding out. He's pretty much got a hole through his shoulder, his chest, and he's like, "That's it. It's to live on, to make my dream come true with that boy by my side." And his head kind of just goes up, and Naruto can't see it, but he's actually got the tears starting to fall. That would have been a great dream. That would have been a great world to see. But that doesn't. But that's not going to happen, is it? And finally, Naruto pauses, and you can see it's you talk too much. You know that. And your words cut deep, deeper than any blade. While he was fighting, his heart was breaking too. He felt kindness and strong. Curse him, I feel them too. Still, even though early Naruto has its problems, early Naruto is still really good. It's still a fantastic moment. Still just great. I love that moment. Zabuza's final sacrifice is still fan-fucking-tastic. So yeah, and I feel this is the end for me. Boy, do me a favor. He still has a sword and a working arm. He doesn't need a kunai. And just, are you surprised to see him human? Even shinobi are human, though we choose to hide it. We fail it. At least I have failed. Boy, do me a favor. When Haku wakes back up, tell him it wasn't his fault. Tell him I say to keep living. And Naruto and keep living for me. Have the life I couldn't have, and that I couldn't give him. Do that for me, boy. And Naruto's like, and then Zabuza finally just, except now he's going full out with the executioner blade. So instead of taking out dozens and dozens of guys with a single kunai with his mouth, he is cleaving through this entire group of wannabe bandits, just wannabe samurai, just like, and just boom, 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 boom. Just cleaves Gato right in two. There's no, I mean, maybe he like cuts off his arm. If you want to die so bad, go ahead, but you're not taking me. Not taking me with you. Oh no, I'm not going to heaven. I cannot. I'm gonna. No. It's the other place I'm going. You and me both. I'm told there are many demons there. All shapes and sizes. Oh, I should fit right in. You, unfortunately, are living for a long and very painful eternity. And he just whoosh chops him right in two. He's still been mortally wounded by the bandits that were able to get weapons in him. But there's only like maybe 10 of them left, maybe. And he's dragging his blade, he just passes out. Naruto at this point has already given Haku his shadow back. Haku is slowly starting to wake up. It's like, what happened? What happened? It's like, Naruto's like, and Haku sees it. Zabuza, did you? And they're like, nope. And all the villagers finally showed up, but they show up in time to be like, you can't. It's like, oh god, and they see Haku just freeze these guys to death. Haku, Zabuza, and he just takes the mask off, and Naruto realizes you're the boy from earlier. It's like, yes, that was me, Naruto. You couldn't figure that out from the voice. But Naruto's like, Zabuza, looks like I get to give you the message after all, kid. Zabuza, no. It's like, look, some dreams aren't meant to come true. But I can have one final dream left. Something I didn't tell you. And he just kind of holds up his arm. Haku's got his arms. Like, oh, Zabuza. I said, please, I have nothing. Like, you gave me purpose. Without you, I'm nothing. And he just tossed up. That's where you're wrong. No, you're something. You're a talent. You're a once in a generation talent, kid. You have the makings to be something great. Do what I couldn't do. Have a life. Find a home. Make friends. Find love. He basically tells those means like, do it. Live. Have a life. But what is life without you? That's something you're gonna have to find. But I'm sure but I can already tell. And he looks briefly at Naruto. There are people out there like you, Haku, who can relate to you, who you can relate back to. Go and carry on my name. Go and have a life. That is my final order to you. Like he basically says, like, yeah, I know you well enough to know it's still going to be hard for you. So this is my final request of you. Go and live on. And it's like, and Haku finally just nods and just can I take your name? Yeah, son. And he just kind of just passes quietly. And everyone's just kind of mourning and just Zabuza, in the end, did something heroic, something good. And so they're looking at Haku. It's like, all right, you tried to kill us. How are we going to do this? Haku is like, there's nothing for me here now. But I promise I'm going to give Zabuza a life. Or gives Zabuza a life. I'm going to do my best to have that life, Zabuza asks. Well, why? And Naruto just says, maybe you could come with us. And it's like, what? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, you're a super strong ninja, and I'm sure the village are probably welcoming you with open arms. And Kakashi's like, it's not quite that easy. Ninjas just can't go willy-nilly to other people's villages and start anew. And to which Haku basically says, I'm not an official ninja. The mask is not, and the headband we got from an Anbu that tried to take us down at one point. To which Kakashi does immediately admit, it's like, well, that wouldn't make things easier. Still, it's up to you, Haku, if you want to join us. And everyone, all the villagers are cheering. I would like that. And to maybe start anew. And so the bridge is finally built. They built a little funeral grave site. That was the word I was looking for Zabuza. They insert the sword there. I don't think Haku wants to take the sword with him. It's a known weapon in the ninja world, so it's probably best that you don't have a recognizable weapon like that and have questions like, where did you get that? But yeah, ultimately, that is where our part 3 ends, with Haku joining Leaf, joining teams. Well, not going to be on Team 7 per se, but does join up with them. And he is laughing a little bit about, with Naruto, about relating topics, about how strong he is. And Sasuke's like, I'm going to want a rematch when we get back. So I welcome it. It's like, come on, Sasuke. You want to do something when we get back? Nah, maybe with a rematch with Haku. But no, I'm good. Oh, okay. I do something with you, Sakura. That was a private conversation. Haku's laughing at the interaction. It's like, no, it wasn't Sakura, by the way. So that is where part 3 ends. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We get started out the tuning exams in part 4 on Sunday. On Christmas Eve of all things. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you folks next time.